Theresa, I'm curious about the advice that you give to those earlier in their career to help guide them, support them in their success. I mean, very much, I'm sure, assuming an achievement mindset, and that can quickly lead to, some habits maybe to overcome. So I'm curious, in your experience, what advice has proven effective for those earlier in their career?
Sure. Well, I have a lot of my classmates here, and you may remember, and I'm sure all of us can remember that first 1 or 2 years out of school and the reality check that is. And then, so when I get the early careerists from through the Alumni Association, a lot of them come with that same question of, I look at their Notre Dame resume, and they've been all over the world, and they've done all the charity stuff, and they've had this really great life up to the time they were 21, and now they're an analyst at a bank, and they're just saying, how did this happen to me? And so the advice that I give them is, good job that you got this job. None of it's wasted. Everything you've done through this time in your life, and I would say this to anybody, none of it is wasted. It's all experience that you're getting, and you get to change your mind. And that's where I think a lot of light bulbs go on, where they think, they come and go, I'm this analyst at this bank. The next step up is, maybe I get this promotion to be a manager. And I don't really like banking, or, and I don't know how I'm going to do this for the next 40 years. And it's like, you don't have to. Mm-hmm. And I remind them there's so much time. Right now it seems like, because they're comparing themselves to their classmates, who's doing what. And it's that kind of stuff where it's, don't compare yourself right now. You have got so much ahead of you. And then you can almost see the relief come off when it's like, wait, I'm allowed to do something besides this? Yes. How'd you get this job in the first place? And it's like, I went to the Career Center and they picked me, or this is the only one I could get, or, there's a lot of different stories. And just knowing that doesn't have to define you, that first job out of school, or not having a job out of school is another one that really, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this was all a farce. I don't even know how I got into Notre Dame. There's a lot of anxiety about that. And so I think that advice, and I wouldn't even call it advice, it's the questions where they come to the only conclusion of, I don't have to work at a bank, or whatever it is. So that's been great. And I've had people come back and say, you know what, when I looked at it, when I opened the aperture a little bit more, I was able to, do something. And then the second thing is the network. So I'm always telling them the Notre Dame network people get people jobs. So going to lunch with one of your friends from Notre Dame, even if they're not, it's not that you want something from them. It's not that you're trying to get them, but if you're able to verbalize over lunch or in a phone call with a classmate that this is what I'm going through, this is what I want to do next, you would be, and they always are surprised, because it's always like, oh, my uncle or my, people want to help people, especially in this family. And so, to your point about, they say, I've applied on LinkedIn, I get nothing back. It must be my resume. Can you help me with my resume? It's like, it's not your resume. That's not how you're going to get this next thing. It's going to be through people, through